Alrighty, welcome to Card Authority, episode 57, but Supremacy 2024 has just been officially announced. As always, Jenks, you are here with me. Sorry, our cameras are a little bit off today.
I certainly am, and very excited. We thought it would be big, and it's wow, I can't wait to get stuck into it.
All right, so we'll get through a little bit of housekeeping as always. G'day everybody, Wade, Mitchie, Tommy, Paul. So Supremacy 2024, 4,800 boxes, $895 a box. 2 available for SEC, 1 available general sale. SEC is now open until the 11th of
7 p.m. on the 11th, was it?
Yes, I had that right in front of me before. General sale is on September the 15th at 7 p.m, which is Sunday. 5 p.m, September the 11th. We'll have obviously all those details up.
2 boxes per person, SCC.
Yep, and 1 box in general sale. It's fair to say it's stacked.
Yeah. Thanks, Francis, and yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, we're literally going through the checklist too. So
I feel like stacked is the word that you used halfway through the preview video.
Yep.
And then it just kept going and going and going. It's enormous. I commented on the stream towards the end of the stream saying, not only is this the biggest Supremacy set and, taking things to a new level, but it's taking AFL cards to a whole new level. What we are seeing here is at a whole new level and a whole new level of offering to collectors.
And I think something to remember is that, or certainly people that have been around for a little while, Select very rarely do a third release in a series. They normally do them sort of 2. Now, for them to do a third Supremacy, they needed to certainly come out with a bang. And there is nobody that I think would be sitting there going, Uncharted Waters is a perfect way of saying it, Benny Andrew.
Yeah.
No one's going to be sitting here saying, I can't believe there isn't more in Supremacy.
Yeah.
It is stacked.
Stacked.
I see a few people asking about things about the checklist. We've just posted the checklist on Card Authority and Good Vibes. It's also obviously on the Select website. So Shannon talking about sort of what Adelaide cards there are. I mean, I'm not going to go through it for each.
You can jump on Card Authority Facebook
and have
now
a look.
and just click on the link and it'll pop up.
So let's quickly just run through all the sets, all right? Because look, Lynn has obviously just gone through it on the video. And fantastic job by Lynn and the whole team of Select. Brilliant as always, well executed. We knock them a lot, but certainly can't fault them on what they did. And I know you particularly, you like the music at the start.
Yes.
So
great
look,
job.
We're going to quickly go through the subsets, and then we're obviously going to be there to answer questions for you guys as well. Alexi feels sick.
See, Alexi's in the hobby. This is his first year collecting AFL cards, so he thought it was all crazy by the time we got to Brownlow, and now he's really going to feel it.
All right, so gold base number to 95, which is obviously a pretty standard start of the subset.
Yeah.
A blue variation number to 65, and then a number to 35 black pearl version.
Yeah.
So it is the same players across the 3 variations.
But different images.
So it's not like a pure parallel.
So each of the cards look different, same player representation, and we did see on the preview that the Harley Reid
had the rookie card.
Had the rookie on it.
I do have that little printout there. So I quickly scanned through the checklist. I could only see maybe 1 or 2 players that had that were rookies.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to look at it a bit deep. But is this the first Harley Reid? Is this the official first Harley Reid rookie card?
Yeah, it's the official one because it's got a printed rookie card on it, and it's come out in this sequence. So this has obviously come out now before Series 2.
Yep.
Which is unusual, but as a
McKercher,
result,
that was the other one I saw.
This is his first, and it's really interesting because you would think at some point there'll be a rookie set number to 25 as well.
Oh yeah.
So where's that going to sit compared to the
and of course his
35?
DPSs.
Yeah. So the rookie speculators will be all over this one.
Franchise Futures and Franchise Futures SIG, which we've seen before.
Yes.
The new addition to Supremacy 2024, Franchise Future Greats.
Yeah.
Which again we will talk about that subset. Great initiative to get some star players. A dual signature of the Franchise Futures of Greats, which it's just a stacked checklist.
Yeah.
Patches are back, 2 per team this year, opposed to 1 In the past, there was only one per team.
Correct.
So good to see that they've done two to
Yeah.
allow there to be more patches.
Yeah. And remember, the patches they are match worn.
All match worn.
Yeah.
Yep,
And they're
everything's match
generally,
worn.
obviously, as we're aware and as people have seen before, a lot of them are coming from club auctions and stuff like that. So you would expect, as per the previous editions of Supremacy, there'll be patches that include pieces of signature and stuff on them as well.
Absolutely. The triple superstar patch, which
Unreal.
I think, again, there's going to be lots of questions about that. I think that's going to be a very, we've never had a triple patch before.
Yeah.
We've never had a dual patch.
Absolutely.
So I think that's something new. It's
But it's
just,
something people
just
have
cool.
been yearning for, right? Like,
Yeah.
we've talked about on many episodes and many different points in time about patches having not been included in other releases, other series twos, and only in the last few years been in Supremacy. So we all expected it to be back. I certainly wasn't expecting a triple patch, which is pretty awesome, and it means as well with different players on them, they've actually gone out and acquired multiple match
that's right.
jerseys, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's right, Wade. It is a parallel without it being a parallel. It's the same players, but different.
Same players, different images. Whereas the previous editions were the same images.
So career games and career games signature. So honouring those that have played the most games in AFL and VFL history. I saw you get a little bit excited with a Lenny Hayes card there.
Yes.
No signature,
But no
unfortunately.
signature. So that was,
that's
pretty
fine.
much. We'll get to it later, but
Yeah,
I think
we'll get
that's
to
my only disappointment.
Sorry, mate. Premiership Glory and Premiership Glory SIGs are back as well. Numbered to 40. Everyone knows they've been around.
Mainstay, yeah.
Goal kicking greats. It's great that Buddy and Jack Rewald have both got their non-SIG version now. And then there is 18 goal kicking great signatures to continue that trend. A lot of the players over a quick scan, Jenks, it looks like the ones that didn't have signatures last release.
Yes, that's right.
So Stephen Milne, you noticed straight away.
Unbelievable. So that's, again, we'll talk about that in depth, but some of the player selection here is amazing.
Yep.
There's a few Richmond guys no longer at the club, but
We'll talk about that later.
yeah.
Club captains. So that's basically the new version of club champions. So I noticed quickly doing the math, there's one of those per box. Obviously, we'll talk about how the cards look, but I noticed when I saw this one come up on the screen, it looks like a Supremacy card has made wild and passionate love to a white footy's finest. It has just the most beautiful pearl kind of...
And they showed it when it rotated around. Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Longest serving captain signature. Your boy Nick Rewald there.
Unreal. I personally like the sideways sig. I know other people don't like it, but it reminds me of a couple of cards, signature cards from like the mid 2000s. Which were signed in that sort of format too. So
Evolution, which is the played and coached the most games in AFL and VFL, and there's also a signature version. We will talk about that because I think there's something interesting about that.
Yeah.
Premiership player and Premiership coach signature. That's just another ripper subset as well. There's 16 cards there. Vic Blaze wants to thank you for all the Dacos cards.
Mate, I'm seeing a lot of comments here. I saw a comment saying everyone on RGB should chip in for the select eBay auction.
Yep.
And I'm sure, I don't know if Dale's figured it out yet, but
they're already talking. Cherry's donating 100k
well, there we go. We're already, Dale, we've already been in a bidding war with you since it went live.
We fired it off 10k straight away.
And then we saw you just jump straight over the top of it there, Dale. So
100k, you can have it. I'll go in the break though. Premiership Brownlow double signature. I mean, obviously we saw the picture in the checklist of the Mitchell, but Ablett, Cochin, Wanganeen, Simon Black, and Ian Stewart.
Yes, Ian Stewart.
So that's a favourite across all the last three releases. Some guy who got snubbed in 21, Lance Franklin, has been lucky enough to get his 1,000 goal kicking signature booklet.
It's worked out perfectly, right? The guy hasn't signed a footy card since 2012. So for his first cards to sign coming back after 12 years of not having signed anything to be Supremacy, the pinnacle of all AFL releases. Well,
that's going to be a ripper.
Unbelievable.
And then there is Goal Kicking Greats dual signature booklet, another favourite of yours, Tony Lockett and Lance Franklin.
Big card.
Numbered to 25.
Booklet.
And then, it just keeps going. The Superstar Patch signature booklets. I mean, the list of players, have you got them in front of you so
I
you can
do.
read them out quickly? They have nailed it. Oh, maybe West Coast, they're not. West Coast guys aren't going to be thrilled, but, and I feel for Asher Ezekiel. He obviously likes Petrarca.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
Petrarca having just confirmed that he's staying at Melbourne.
that could have been awkward if
So
he.
yeah, I think you're getting there not only the booklet for Petrarca, but there's a multitude of SIG and patch cards for him across the release.
Can you read out the list of who the booklets are?
Yes. So Adelaide, obviously Jordan Dawson. Then we got Lockie Neal, Sam Walsh, which is just a monster. Yeah, it's a monster. Nick Dacos. Well, that speaks for itself.
I think that'll be.
And obviously,
pricey.
again, Dacos cards across the whole release in terms of
We'll talk
SIGs
about
and
that.
stuff too.
Yep.
Zach Merritt. I think people will be pretty happy with that. Don likes him, doesn't he? That's his guy.
Benny Andrew was talking about how much he likes Zach Merritt.
Zach
as well.
Merritt is that Don? Is that the guy? Is that Don's man?
No, Parrish.
Oh, that's Parrish.
Yeah.
Zach Merritt, nonetheless. I'm sure the Essendon folks will love that. Andrew Brayshaw, Jeremy Cameron. I think Jeremy Cameron will be one that they.
The
really
Cats
get
guy's
around
going to
as
like
well,
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lockie Whitfield. For GWS makes sense.
Yep.
Matt Rowell, really nice for Gold
Right.
Coast. I think
Yep.
people will be pretty happy with that. And we saw that in the preview earlier. Will Day for Hawthorn is a huge win for the Hawks, guys.
I've been spammed already by Will Day's #1 fan, Kane Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
I got no less than 15 messages off him.
So it's really and
Keep going.
I'll say it
Come
at
on.
the end as well. Will Day, obviously Petrarca, LDU for North Melbourne,
Big, yep.
Rosie, which I think
Paul
interestingly, I think people are going to be all over that. I actually think that's going to be a really big booklet. I know Paul guys really love Rosie. I think that's a good choice. Dion Prestia, Richmond,
Premiership player. It's fine.
pretty average team, average premiership winners, average players that retired, all that sort of stuff. The Sainers, Jack Steele.
How many premierships has he won?
A lot.
Yeah,
In my mind, he has
Yeah.
won a lot of premierships.
Keep going.
So Steely, very happy with that. Luke Parker for the Swines.
Yep.
Dom Sheed, West Coast. Don't know if they'll love that, the West Coast
He
people.
did win them a flag.
I'm sure they can throw something in the comments about what they think about that.
Yep.
And Bailey Smith, which, had you told people a couple of years ago that you're going to get Bailey Smith as a Supremacy booklet, that was probably the main choice for them of who they wanted.
Aaron Capitan would have melted down 12 months ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, if he goes to Geelong, it could be a bit awkward.
Aaron Capitan would have bought all the booklets.
All of them.
And pulled the patches out, sewn it back together, and gone and worn it down to training, I reckon.
And then, Janks, the brand new initiative, longest serving captain's signature booklet. Now, number to 25, a 9 signature booklet.
Yes.
3 folds. And again, everyone's seen it, but I will show a picture of it.
A black and white picture.
Yeah.
Because we're using digital software, by the way.
Because we are in a hurry,
That's
Janks.
true. That's true.
And not only is this a monster booklet, but Select have gone and made their own plastic card armor
case.
for it so that you can get it. So, again, I haven't asked the questions, but is this a redemption card? Is this coming in the box?
Yeah, like how's it?
How does it fold? Like, again,
I think I misunderstood maybe on the live stream as well. Like, I don't know. They said you get a card safe?
yeah, I think they're going to give you one if you get
They'll
it.
give you one. So that makes me think it's a redemption.
Actually, you won't Select. Just admit that. Are you
find
going to
out.
give them a card safe for it?
I'm not sure yet. We haven't decided. So I'll let you guys know.
But I'm curious to find out whether or not it's actually in the box because we'll talk about randoms and breaking shortly, but that's a monster. Now, I did a quick little bit of research, all right? A couple of things we noticed is that there are similar sort of names. I think it folds in the box. Yeah, it looks like it's made to fold.
Definitely it's made to fit in the box, I think.
But yeah, because of the whole plastic thing, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, we'll find out. We'll get that confirmed. So a few of the names I noticed when I scanned through the checklist, and I quickly did a little bit of a search. Nick Rewald has 4 signatures.
Yep.
Track has 4 signatures. Franklin has 4 signatures. Ablett has 4 signatures. Lee Matthews has 3. Pendles has 4. And your favourite, Trent Cotchin, has 5.
Yeah, so I think the reason for that is they know that due to thuggery, he's going away soon. So they just wanted to get all the signatures
Don't be silly.
for Cochin out of the way now,
Yep.
basically. No, but look, you love Cochin, and I feel like most Richmond people love Cochin. They love what he did off the ball and stuff like that.
And the flags and the Brownlows. Yeah.
Maybe that too.
Yep.
So I suspect people aren't that upset with it, but there's certainly a theme of repeats, but
Yep.
it's relative to the subset too.
Yeah,
So
and I
it
think
makes sense.
and I
Like,
think it gives people an opportunity instead of if you're desperate to get a Pendlebury signature, there's actually multiple bites of the cherry where you can go and try
yeah,
to attack a number to 50 card,
yeah,
opposed to them just disappearing.
yeah.
So I don't know whether all team set collectors will go after all of them or
But how
player
can you
collectors.
not? Okay, let's put it out there to the audience, I suppose. Which I know there's a lot of people in
Yeah,
here that have full team sets of both 2019 and 2021,
I'm one of those people.
or
Yeah,
at least 2021. Knowing what you're looking at with the checklist, guys, and the scale of this, as a what is historically a team set collector, are you going to be targeting all the cards in the full
well,
set?
Jesse
I
just
can tell you,
said,
for me as a Saints collector, absolutely, I need every single one of those.
of
I'm
course.
pretty sure I need the Lockett Buddy Jewel because it fits my parameters, and unfortunately for you, for the oh, actually, you probably want one too,
Of
but I
course.
need the 9 sig too.
But that's my advantage.
I need a 9
I'm
sig
at
too.
work normally, so
So there you go, guys. That's already going to be two of the
yeah, everyone's saying,
of the
yep, all the,
25s that are.
yep. Ev-
This is going to be very interesting. This is going to be
It's
very, very
it's
interesting.
big.
It's big.
Yep.
And make no mistake, like this is going to, we're not going to obviously go through any analysis so much of this episode, but we'll get to it probably in the next time we do a podcast with the pricing.
Yep.
But I've already exchanged multiple messages with people in the last half an hour who are all throwing that number of a full team set, a complete team set for a lot of the teams here is going to be a big task.
It's going to be big.
It's going to be a
Yeah.
bigger task than what it's been previously. But you're also getting presented with an opportunity to own cards that are far greater than what you've got previously.
And you can pick and choose what you want.
Yeah,
Yes, Steve, you can do multiple orders as long as you don't order more than two in SCC. If you order one and one, that's fine. There's
Yeah.
no problems with that. I'm not going to go through the base number to 35s, that kind of stuff. That checklist, everyone can have a look at themselves. But I wanted to touch base on the franchise futures.
Yes.
All right. I think, I paid a little bit of attention to this. The franchise futures, just the normal ones. Hello, Gribbler. Rochelle and Philthorpe, they're going to be wrapped with that. Bailey and Coleman, happy. Hollins and TDK, happy. Dacos and Quaynor, happy. Hobbs and Perkins, I mean, Essendon guys always whinge, but I'm sure they'll be happy.
Yeah.
Amiss and Sarong, happy. SDK and Max Holmes, happy. Tom Green and Sam Taylor, I think they'll be happy with that. Anderson Lukosius, Mitch Lewis and Newcomb, the Hawks guys will like that.
Yeah.
Bowie and Van Royen, Sheasel and Wardlaw,
Yeah, that's huge.
Georgiades and Horn Francis,
Great as well.
Bolton and Gibcus. A little bit of a shame about Bolton leaving, but it is what it is. How do you feel about Wingan, Malera and Owens?
Amazing.
Very happy?
Amazing. Yeah.
Goulden and Warner, amazing.
Yeah.
Hewitt and Gimby, or Jinby. I imagine the Eagles guys would have liked Harley Reid, but probably just they didn't know about it.
Yeah, this is all programmed quite far in
Yep.
advance, and again, something we've talked about in the past. But these sets aren't done overnight. So the
This
player
is 18
selection,
months.
the images, the print, then getting the card signed, recirculated. It's there's a process. So
Yep.
yeah,
Jamara and Cody Waitman, I think the Dogs are going to be very happy with that. Now, the franchise greats. Now, obviously, there is a non-SIG, a SIG, and also the dual SIG. But these names are just, it's stacked. It's a stacked checklist. Dawson and Rashudo, great. Neal and Brown, great. Cripps and Kudafidis, that's a massive card. Pendles and Buckley, Merritt and Hurd, Brayshaw and Mundy, Dangerfield and Selwood, that's a ripper.
yeah,
Green and Ward, Ben King and Gary Ablett, that's a ripper too. Sicily and Brereton, the Hawks guys will love the Brereton. Petrarca and Gorn,
Yeah.
I think, the track's really good. We've seen a lot of Gorn. Larky and Archer, we've already seen from the leak, the North guys are excited about that. Boak and Wanganine's great. Cochin and Richardson's great. Steele and Harvey, you'd be
very happy.
very happy. Parker and Kelly, Sheed and Cousins. Cousins appears again, which is great.
It's
And
sorry.
Bont and Murphy.
So what's really cool about this too, that again, just looking at the checklist, there's a number of these cards which are players that in previous Supremacy had franchise future signatures. So to have a franchise future signature, and again, thinking for those who display cards as well, having the franchise future and then the franchise great signature is going to be super cool.
Can I just address something? Because I've seen this comment pop up a couple of times, all right? So let me just knock this on the head at the moment. So Alex has just asked, I'd love to have an opportunity to get a box at RRP, but after SEC members grab two each, 5% go to retailers. That leaves nearly nothing for general sale. That Alex, that's not quite true. So there's about 850 SEC members. So that's 1,700 boxes.
Yeah.
If 5% of 48 is 240, so that gets to about 2,000. There's going to be 2,800 boxes in public
Absolutely.
sale.
Yeah.
There has been so many posts saying this is going to snap sell in 1 second. I promise you, and I'm looking straight at the camera here, straight at you, Jenks. If you are ready to go on public sale,
You should
there
be
is
able to
going
get a
to be
box.
2 or 3 minutes at least that you are going to be able to buy a box.
So, and people need to remember as well, and you can look back on Card Authority about the expose that we did on both the bots manipulation and the professional flipping networks, but what Select has done in order to mitigate that. So, contrary to popular belief and what people love to comment on every single post about anything to do with nothing, that the whole thing with bots should not be what your concern is. You are up against other collectors. Sure, there's people out there that are looking to flip boxes, but this is also a much higher risk item for those types of people as well because of the outlay they need to put on it. $8.95 a box as a collector. If you're ready, you're pre-prepared, you've got your account logged into, you've got your internet up and going or in an area of good reception, refresh for a minute leading into it.
I'll
As
go
soon
as
as
far
it
as say
comes up,
there's going to be 5. You can have 5 minutes.
you should, yeah. Look, I don't know.
But it's not going to snap. It's not going to snap.
Yes, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think the buzz is big here, and I think there is very
sure.
much for potential to snap. In order for it to snap within seconds, you're talking about you need 15,000 people trying to buy the 2,500 boxes that are. It's
not gonna happen.
So
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll come back to that, and we'll.
But the motto of the story, Alex, is don't stress. There's lots of people that aren't SEC members. If you are ready to go, logged in, all that kind of stuff, Select also cancel a heap of orders, bots, all that kind of stuff over the following 20 minutes. You are going to be able to get a box. I can assure you, you are going to be able to get a box.
Yeah.
Burn, I think there was 4,400 last time, so it's about 400 more this release.
Yeah. So only slightly more boxes, no massive dilution with the amount of boxes, which they probably could have taken advantage of that situation.
Yep.
Rather than doing that, the price has obviously gone up by $200 to what it was last time, but you're also getting guaranteed 2 additional cards per box, minimum of 2 signatures per box, or possibly 3 signatures or 2 signatures in a patch. Otherwise, it's yes, the money, it costs more and it feels like it costs more, but you're actually getting a huge value add here.
We ran
Huge value add.
And again, look, we won't go through it, but we ran very quickly some numbers through this in the 5 minutes after the show. It's a stacked product. It's a stacked product. This is going to be you're going to get value out of your box. You're going to get these things are going to be expensive on the secondary market. I'll give you a quick tip.
Yeah.
Will there be God boxes? Don't know, sure. Hope so. They were amazing last time.
They were amazing last time, the God boxes.
Yeah. So the Superstar patch we talked about. Let's talk about the triple patches because I think that's something that people are obviously very excited about. Dawson Sloan and Phil Thorpe, Charlie Cameron, McCluggage and Neal, Cripps, Doherty and Walsh. God, that's massive. Dacos, Elliott and Pendlebury, massive.
Yeah.
Heppel, Merritt and Parrish, look out, Don. Brayshaw, Fife and Walters. Cameron, Dangerfield and Hawkins. The Cats guys are going to love that. Cornelio, Ward and Whitfield. Ben King, Miller and Rao. Bruce, Day and Sicily. Oliver, Petrarca and Viney. That's crazy. LDU, Larky and Sheasel. Boak, Butters and Rosie. Bolton, Prestia and Taranto. Owen, Sinclair and Steele. You'd have to be happy with that.
Yeah. And it's really interesting.
And let me finish.
Yeah.
Heaney, Parker and Papley. Oscar Allen, Darling and Sheed. And Bont, Smith and Jack McRae.
So some of the single patch players are not on the triple patch and they have a different player instead.
Yeah.
So again, that's pretty cool.
Yep. Well, it means obviously they've ramped up their access to jerseys because as we've talked about over the last couple of years, one of the things that holds back Select doing patches is being able to get their hands on the Guernseys.
Yeah, to do it.
So clearly they've improved that process. The patch booklet we've already talked about. The career game signatures. Again, some massive names here, and I'll just sort of scan over the top of them. Harvey, Tuck, Dustin Fletcher. Everyone wants a Dustin Fletcher 300 game card, so I don't think he's signed anything since then.
Yeah.
Robert Harvey, Madden, Gary Ablett Jr., Paul Roos, Selwood, Franklin, Pavlich, Jack Rewalt gets a sig. Luke Hodge. We haven't even mentioned Luke Hodge.
Yeah.
That's huge. Nick Rewalt. Brendan Goddard. You happy about a bit of BJ?
Awesome.
Yep.
Look, in general terms, the St Kilda representation, and look, I'm super happy as a St Kilda person.
Yep.
But I think probably St Kilda's got one of the best spreads of cards and player representation in this release.
So
out
what
of
you're
all the
saying
teams.
is you are willing to pay
No.
massive amounts of
gonna
money
cost-
for St Kilda
No,
cards.
but I'm definitely expecting I'm probably up for 10 Gs here for a team set.
Well, the Hunter.
Someone said before it's a rich man's release, and funnily enough, in 2019 when it came out at $500,
sell stuff.
and it was 3 times as much as basically anything at the time, and it took took 3 weeks or something. After like 3 weeks, it was fully properly sold out and everything. Different era. But then in 2021, everyone who was doing standard collecting also then went after Supremacy.
Yep.
And the same thought is in people's minds now immediately is, oh wow, this is a lot. There's a lot in it. Well, there is, and it's going to cost me a lot to get the set done, and it seems daunting. But as time and history has shown, somehow people find a way.
Yep.
And because you can't have it not, you can't not have it. Like, you need it.
Oh, Paul, you win the door prize. I was waiting for someone to say way too many SIGs. Congratulations. Can't complain. Can't complain about that.
Yeah.
The Hunter just made a good question there, which I just wanted to scroll off my screen. Where does the 9 SIG rank against the quad SIGs of the previous 2 releases? Now, we briefly tried to talk about
very briefly, and then we went on air.
what we thought that card was worth. So we're not going to talk about values except for this card because
Okay.
it's too early to
Okay.
do that. Gun to your head.
Okay.
All right. Oren Flam walks in because obviously he gets 3 of them in his box.
Yeah.
And goes, Jenks, I've got one.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because this is the
How much?
This is the first time I've actually needed to buy one. So
Yeah.
it's only going to be like a $50 card, guys.
Yeah.
No, it's a hard one. It's hard to put a figure on it because I have to break it down in my mind. Number to 25, but the difference is this time there's 9 different teams
8.
worth.
There's
oh,
double up
8,
on
sorry.
Carlson.
So there's 8 different teams and collectors from 8 different teams.
Give me a price.
That all want
Price.
the card number to 25. I don't know.
Are you paying 10K?
Many, many, many thousands of dollars.
Well, the previous quads now you can't really get
Okay,
from
so
for less than $8,000.
So your question is, am I paying 10K?
Yep.
I don't want to have to pay 10K, but I feel like if I want that card in my collection, I'm probably gonna have to pay.
Well, Jason's saying $5,000. So you're buying his $5,000 one?
Yeah, I'm buying one for $5,000. Yeah, definitely,
Absolutely.
straight away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think 5 to 10K is probably the market test at the start of the release.
Yep.
But at the same time, like, you just can't compare it to anything. You can't even compare it to the quad booklets.
We've never done anything like this
But that's
before.
the thing. You're talking about eight different players signing.
9
9
players,
different players,
8 teams.
eight teams on a physical card that doesn't exist in any other way, shape, or form.
And it's a display piece.
It's a piece
bigger.
of memorabilia.
It is.
And that's the thing about this release, and that's what people forget. There's people outside of diehard AFL card collecting that own Supremacy cards. Not sets necessarily, but certainly Supremacy cards. Memorabilia people. I know a number of AFL people and even like random people who collect Pokemon and stuff who have several Supremacy cards in their set. So it appeals to a very broad spectrum of people.
Yep.
That card's worth a lot of money. I'd like to know what other people think. If you're someone that's that's going to be in the market or would like to own that card one day, chuck in the comments now. What would you want to pay for one? Like realistically,
Yeah. What I actually pay.
what would you actually pay for it? Like if push came to shove and you had to go withdraw the money, get the money,
Take it off the
even
missus,
sell
whatever.
off other cards potentially, whatever it may be. What would you pay? I want to know.
So, Steve, funny you mentioned about the jumper number. See, I quickly looked through it.
40% to jump in them.
No, but none of them cross.
Crossover.
I think they've all got separate
singular.
numbers, but don't
Yeah.
hold me to that. Jimmy Lawson says 8 to 10K, but we know he'll hit 3 of them.
I think Jimmy's range is right there.
Yeah.
I
But
think
yeah,
Jimmy's
put in the
range
comments what
probably
you
about
think.
right.
We'll probably run a poll on that
I
as
don't
well.
want to pay that much when someone hits one, but
Well, we both need one too, so we're going to have to fight over that.
you know, we'll keep bidding on the select case
Yeah.
and see if we can score one out of that.
How much do you reckon we can make Dale pay?
I don't know. We're gonna make
Do you reckon
Dale
that 100,
like,
100 numbers real?
no, I don't know, but I think we can push Dale up to like 20 at least.
I imagine it's probably already at 20.
I hope you're still watching Dale and Blake.
Yeah. I reckon we can definitely get Dale up to, it's at almost 13 grand.
Oh wow.
And look, great initiative there by Select as well,
Yeah.
raising some
Shane
money
Warne
for the Shane Warne
Foundation,
Foundation.
great Saints man,
Legacy
of course.
Foundation. Yep. Okay, club captains. So the club captains cards replacing the club royalty.
Yes.
Not club royalty. Club legends.
Club legends, yeah.
Club champions.
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 The ones that were previously the little red ones.
Yep. And
Maroon even.
there is
Dale's going 20.
20.
There you go, Dale.
Outbid me, you cowards. All right.
I like it.
Longest serving captain signatures. So not only are those 9 that are on that booklet, they've also got their own individual signature
Yes.
as well. So Selwood, Kernahan, Nick Rewalt, Michael Voss, Pendlebury, Pavlich, Cochin, John Nichols, and Wayne Carey. I mean, it's just stacked.
Yeah.
It's stacked. But the club captains, 1 per box, Jenks. Evolution. Now, this is an interesting set that I wanted to flag, all right? So it is players that have been successful in the game.
This is one that's got the silhouette background.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then have gone on to coaching. Now they're numbered to 55, the non-SIG versions, and numbered to 50, the SIG versions. I mean, the names are all solid as you expect. Sheedy, Malthouse, Matthews, Parkin, Eade, Ruse, Walls, Worsfold, Wallace, Buckley, Ayres, Pagan, Thompson,
Yeah.
Choco, Brett Radden, Leon Cameron, John Norby. Now, one thing I thought was interesting, and the Kevin Sheedy was the one that I wanted to bring up. How are Essendon people going to feel
About that, the look.
about
of the
it's
card,
it's
yeah.
a Richmond jumper, and you see a silhouette of him behind? Mick Malthouse, I think, was the same. He's in a Richmond jumper as well. I don't. Again, like,
I don't know. It's different. It's horses for courses. I know
Yeah.
for like my set collecting and my experience for me is like the locket in the last Supremacy. I didn't go out to get the quad sig because he wasn't wearing St Kilda,
right,
even though there was a St Kilda logo on the back or whatever.
because of Sydney.
Yeah, it didn't fit the parameters. Well, I would like one, sure, but I didn't want to have to go pay $10,000 for one, essentially.
Yeah, I wonder how people are going to feel about that card and whether or not that's actually going to hurt the value of what is really a ripping subset.
Yeah, maybe. Nico Kessa, absolutely, you are 100% correct, and something we've definitely talked about a lot there, and that's why I posed the
spot on.
question is...
Well, read it out. Read it out.
Yeah, so Nico Kessa says, going back to the 9 sig, basically, it's nice hitting those big cards, but only so many people have the cash to spend 5 to 10K on the card. And we've always talked about that. There's the notion of what a card should be worth based on what it is versus everything else in the market.
Yep.
And then there is, at that price level, there's the higher you go in terms of the cost of the card, the smaller the market becomes that can actually afford to pay that money for it.
Yep.
Again, these cards numbered to 25. We can only go off what we've seen in the past, and the past indicates there is a market depth and a depth of people.
25 is probably the right
Yeah,
number.
a depth of people that seem to sustain the buying of cards at 5,000 plus.
Well, we have a couple of clients, and obviously I'm not going to say their
Absolutely.
names, that buy at
yeah,
that
and that's what
price.
people forget. Like
There are people that
there
spend
are
those
people
money.
in the hobby that are spending massive amounts of money that are not on social media, and in a lot of instances, they are not in the age demographic of someone that would be on Facebook.
They're
for
closer to your
example.
age.
Close to my dad's age, not long more. Yeah, so there's the numbering for cards like that at the super high end or the ultra high end, we'll call it.
Yep.
That audience exists outside of social media, which we're all used to.
Yep. Premiership player and coach signature. Now, again, these names, there's a little bit of crossover for the evolution, but what I like about these is that it has them in different colours. So, for example, the Damien Hardwick one, I think it's Port Adelaide, and then he's wearing a Richmond coaching top.
Yeah.
So, again, that'll be interesting to see how collectors want to deal with those cards.
Yeah.
A lot of randoms for breaks.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of
Yeah,
randoms.
that's right. But breaks, and I don't want to go too much
Let's
about
talk about breaks
breaks.
in the end.
Yeah,
Let's talk
like,
about breaks in the end. Premiership Brownlow double, we've already touched on. Black, Wanganeen. Gary Ablett Jr. in Geelong colours. Obviously,
yeah, huge,
huge.
huge. Number
And
25.
we talk about the pricing. If Gary Ablett had been in a Gold Coast jumper, that card is worth 40% less.
Agree.
So that is a huge card.
Agree.
Sam Mitchell, again,
Well,
Hawthorn.
you would think Gary Ablett Premiership Brownlow double Supremacy number to only 25. Geelong signature Geelong. That's got to be. And again, let's. I want to hear from someone like a Daniel Sher or someone.
Well,
That's got to
Daniel
be.
Show messaged me before
So
he
that,
goes,
that has to be. Is that
he's going
in,
to trade a child.
so I was going to say, is that in the top 5 Geelong cards all time?
Oh,
Is that a top 5
big.
Geelong to all time card? Or where does that rank? Let us know, Geelong peeps.
So Sam Mitchell, Trent Cotchin, and Ian Stewart. And I haven't seen the Ian Stewart one, but I imagine that's going to be a Richmond St Kilda card.
Yeah, that's a good
I
question.
think he won Brownlows at
They're
both.
both. He did, but he didn't win a premiership at Richmond. Only at St Kilda. So hopefully it's only St Kilda cards. St Kilda got skipped in the last one, and we had Ross Smith in 2019. So it'd be very nice
So I'm not going to have
to add the Ian
Yeah,
Stewart
Daniel
to the
Scher says
collection.
top 5.
Top 5.
The Buddy Franklin 1,000 Goal Kickers signature booklet.
Yeah.
Now, there was obviously, because again, we've talked about how it takes sort of 2 years to put a set like this together, he wasn't on the quad booklet last time.
Yeah.
He now has his own 1,000 plus goal kicker booklet. Straight away, when you saw this, you're like, shit, that's a big card.
That is a big card.
Yep.
We're talking about the solo one.
Solo
Yeah,
one,
the
yep.
solo one. And it looks unbelievable. My first reaction was like, wow. Like,
Yep.
the image on the right-hand side is just unbelievable.
it's
Like the
amazing.
way they've collaged that, and it was like coming out of you. Yeah, that was amazing.
It's the same sort of design that they've used for the Brownlow Prospects, where it's like a montage
Yeah.
of images. It's great.
Yeah.
Big card. I feel for Sydney collectors this release.
Yeah.
The Lockett and Franklin goal kicking greats
Yeah.
dual signature
Monster as
booklet.
well. That's number to 25. That's another card number to 25 that I need to get.
Yep.
This is going to be brutal for
Yeah.
me. Brutal.
Yep. It's great. it's fantastic.
It's unbelievable.
All right, so that is the release. We've gone through it. Obviously, Lynn has gone through it, but we've managed to do it. Oh, we did it in 40 minutes as well. $895, 2 boxes for SCC.
On
one
sale
box.
now.
On sales now, yep.
For SCC, on sale now until the 11th
Yep.
at 5 p.m. and then goes on sale 7 p.m.
The 15th.
on the 15th. Obviously, log in now if you want it. You can log in now and get your SCC done. I did notice something in there as well.
Are you going to talk about the insurance?
Yeah,
I saw-
which it's funny because the insurance thing was contentious on Brownlow.
Yep.
So basically, to cut a long story short, Select has introduced a third-party insurance option, which is clearly because when they're sending out product to people and things get lost or there's issues that go on or other scams that take place, whatever it may be, that when you're sending out boxes of cards now, which cost a lot of money, that the insurance is an aspect. There was definitely a disaster around the release,
sale
the release and the public sale of Brownlow.
Yep.
But they seem to have completely rectified that, which is really good. And what they're offering now, I think it was said $14.95.
Yep.
Fixed price for the order, so you can order your 2 boxes, and that gives you full coverage and insurance.
So
and for me, this is not something that I would otherwise talk about.
Yep.
But for $1,800 or just over $1,800 with shipping, because it's only that price, I think it's actually a really smart move.
So just to explain how it works, difference to say when you've got insurance on a parcel with Australia Post, it goes missing, you've got to wait a couple of
$100.
weeks, you lodge an inquiry,
Yeah.
it goes through a process and you may not get the full amount back. This, if there's any issue of the parcel getting lost, damaged, stolen, even if it says delivered to you, they will investigate it, do all those things, and you'll end up getting your money back in a couple of days. So it's definitely something to think about. It's not for everyone, but as James said,
if it was a $50 stitch up, I'm definitely probably not doing it.
$14.95 is
But $14.95 for the cost of the transaction. In the same way, like if it was a $140 box of Footy Stars or something, you're not bothering with
worried
this
about it.
shit.
Yep.
But like, I don't know. So definitely something to consider there.
So, Janks, obviously, any questions, please fire them through. We don't
Yep.
want to hold people up too much on a Saturday night. But, Janks, what is the card? One card. that's excited you the most?
There's too many cards and it's sick. Like I feel like a bit like sick with excitement because oh my god, like I don't know. Like the booklet's the booklet. Like obviously the for me Supremacy patch booklet is still an unsurpassed card in AFL.
And Jack Steele's your boy.
Yeah, Jack Steele, love the guy, well deserved. But then some of these other signature cards, both in terms of the players and the formatting of those cards. A Stephen Milne is a huge one. No one's seen a Stephen Milne since I think it was 2006 Tarzo card, the little Tarzo chip things.
G Train.
Which he had a signature. G Train again, love that. Obviously, we already had G Train, but it's nice to see him again.
Yep.
I love the idea of the Robert Harvey and Jack Steele dual signature.
The franchise future
yeah,
grades, yeah.
My expectation is that I feel like for the most part, whatever I'm saying about my team should be reflected across the board with a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
So, I'm super happy with some of the player selection. I'm super happy with the subsets and the type of cards and all the different signatures that I'm going to be able to go after. And,
Yep.
I presume a lot of people feel the same way about
There's so much to
their
chase.
teams.
Whether you're doing your whole team set or you're just player chasing or subset chasing, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, on my basis, obviously, I love, and we got to see it, the Dustin Martin 35.
Yeah.
Beautiful card. Like
Well, it's funny, like 35, those cards numbered to 35 are going to be super rare. The 40,
one per box.
The 40, obviously they went down to the 45s in the previous version of Supremacy, but it's all like right now, I actually can't even think about any of those base cards. And I can't even really think about like the franchise future non-SIGs or anything like that. Like I'm a bit like overwhelmed in my mind about all the SIGs and patches. Like,
Yep.
this is serious. Like this is a serious upscaling from where it was. 2019 was already like, wow, no one's ever seen this shit before. This is crazy. 1 SIG per box guarantee, 10 cards, sick, 130 point, amazing.
Yep.
Then you fast forward a couple of years where we had been spoilt with Series 2 and whatever. And I remember Supremacy came out and we're like, wow, price increase, cool, totally justified because it's loaded. Look how loaded it is. Look at all these extra hits. Look at these extra giant hits, quad SIGs, blah, 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 blah. I think since then, and as everyone's always known they were going to release Supremacy again, it was something that they'd said that was going to continue. There's always probably been a bit of apprehension around what the hell are they going to do? Like, sets wise, they've used it all up. Supremacy, like they've already used so many players. So what are they going to do? And two is in a climate of everything increasing, and especially with Select product by product, year by year, they keep loading it up more and more and putting more and more into it. What would they be able to do? And I think what we've witnessed today, certainly myself, and I imagine you agree with this, is well beyond anything that we could have conceptualized or let alone expected in terms of what was going to be given to people. And it certainly sets a new bar. It sets a very high standard. It sets a very high bar. And it's very impressive that they continue to be able to raise that bar release after release after release. So
And look,
credit to all involved, and I know there's a number of different people at all different levels, both at Select, outside Select, especially going through things with jerseys, all this sort of stuff. But from the guys who conceptualized the release to putting together checklists through to the design teams and the manufacturing plants and all that sort of stuff, give yourselves a big pat on the back. Well done.
Well done, mate.
Well done. Thank you.
Daniel Shirt has made a good or an interesting point. I don't know if I agree with it, but what does this release devalue in previous Supremacy releases? Well, Daniel Shirt, I think that this is going to be interesting because there are so many new collectors in the hobby. You're actually going to find some people that go all in on this Supremacy and then are going to want to go back and start to collect the other one. And
Well, 2019 is just impossible to get.
yeah,
like
and 21, there's certain cards you can't find either.
It has been very difficult, but at the same time, like I definitely feel what Daniel's saying there, and I'm sure a number of other people do. That, and again, it's not for this episode, but as you continue to put more and more desirable cards to market,
Sure.
and more money needs to be exchanged in for people to get those cards, decisions need to be made about how to deploy that money and what you spend it on as well. So for every action there is an equal
I tell you,
reaction.
the card that I think is going to be big is the triple patches.
Yeah, they're sick.
I think
Yeah.
it's
I
something
think
we've never
patches
seen
in
before.
general. I think
But the
patches.
triple patches we've never
Yeah.
seen before, I think they're, yeah.
I need time to digest it. But there's cards in this release, like patches, which I think straight off the bat, in my mind, are going to be more expensive than what it's cost actually in the past because patches are so rare in the whole context of footy cards and
Agree.
all the releases that exist. So therefore, that puts them in sort of a little spot under a spotlight, I suppose. And yeah, same with a number of other things. And there's also cards that I'm sure won't have the same sort of out the gate value that they have previously. I'm sure base cards to 95 are not going to be like what they were at the peak of 2019 Supremacy.
Probably, yeah.
You know what
No,
I
but they
mean?
were cheap back then too.
They were cheap early, but then they became super expensive over time. You know, some of those base cards from 2019, numbered to 90, are like $200, $300 cards. You can't find them.
So obviously, you mentioned this straight away when the stream, and we looked at the checklist and you were a bit upset. But how are you coping with the fact that there is no more Sebros?
Oh, it's just, I've still got his jumping up as showstoppers, man.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Jenks, you have been amazing as always. Thank you for your insights. $8.95, 2 boxes available now. SCC, go and grab it. General sale when Sunday, September 15th, 7 p.m. 1 box. It's going to be a fun release. It's going to be a fun couple of weeks in the hobby. Yes, there'll be breaks, there'll be trading, there'll be sales, there'll be all those sorts of things.
Yep.
Thank you, guys. Remember, new releases can be stressful times for everyone, so please be kind to each other.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun.
Great to have you all on board. Unfortunately, we do need to head out. I've got a function, a prior commitment I need to attend to, but I am going to take the opportunity to read the comments because I have seen a lot of funny comments just pop up. So
Yep.
I want to go back and have a look at those all later. But again, thanks everyone, and very exciting times ahead. And if you're new to the hobby, get excited because these things don't come along very often. So this is going to be a crazy time period coming up. I'm sure people are going to be restless between now and when the cards actually come.
We're gonna break down and analyze all this over Card Authority over the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. And yes, obviously a million messages about breaks and all that sort of stuff. Just look out across the whole network, look across the pages, and
Yep.
this is going to be fun. Get yourselves prepared. You got a few weeks until the cards arrive.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Get organized. Get organized. This is big.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your night. Supremacy 2024 is now a real deal. Everyone, no one thought it was coming. You knew it was coming.
Well, I'm pretty sure I said last episode that Series 2 was coming. So
You got wrong.
you hoodwinked me.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. Ciao.